Here we have a problem on composition of two functions. That is, when composition of two functions and the inside function are given, how to find the outside function. So here we have a composition of two functions, that is f and g, and so the inside function g of x is given over here, that is equal to x positive 1 over x, and we have to find the outside function, that is f of x. Okay, for that what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the composition of two functions as it is, that is f of g of x equals to 4x positive 3 over x positive 1. Okay, so we know that g of x equals to x positive 1 over x, so we can plug in this expression for the g of x over here. Then I'm getting f of x positive 1 over x equals to 4x positive 3 over x positive 1. Okay, almost I got the outside function f, but here we need to find f of x according to the question. But at the place of x, we have an expression x positive 1 over x. So now what we have to do is, so we have to get x at the position of this expression x positive 1 over x. So how do we have to replace this one by x? So for that what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a new variable y for the expression we have over here. So that is let y equals to x positive 1 over x. Okay, and also what I have to do is in this equation I have to solve for x in terms of y. So because I'm going to change this complete function in the new variable y. So for that I have to solve for x in terms of y. Let me do that part separately. So here we have y equals to x positive 1 over x. Okay, now to solve for x in terms of y, first I multiply both sides of this equation by x, then this x will cancel. I'm getting xy equals to x positive 1. Now let me subtract x from both sides. This positive x, negative x will cancel out. I'm getting xy negative x equals to 1. Okay, now let's look at the expression we have on the left side. So here we have two terms xy negative x, and both the terms have the greatest common divisor x. So since both the terms have the greatest common divisor x, we can factor x out. Okay, when x is factored out, to get the stuff inside the parenthesis, I have to divide the terms of this expression by the one I factored out, that is x. When I divide this xy by this x, I'm just getting y. When I divide this negative x by this x, I'm getting negative 1 equals to 1. Okay, now to solve for x, I divide both sides by y negative 1. So when I do so, this y negative 1 will cancel. I'm getting x equals to 1 over y negative 1. So I solved for x in terms of y, that is x equals to 1 over y negative 1. Okay, now what I have to do is in this function, I have to replace this x positive 1 over x by y. On the right side, each x has to be replaced by this stuff 1 over y negative 1. Okay, let me continue. So f of y equals to 4 times for this x, we can plug in 1 over y negative 1. Let me do it. Positive 3 over, for this x also we have to plug in this 1 over y negative 1, positive 1. Okay, let me continue here. F of y equals to, so now what we can do is we can multiply this 4 and 1 over y negative 1. For that we have to multiply this 4 and the numerator 1. Then I'm getting 4 over y negative 1 positive 3 divided by 1 over y negative 1 positive 1. Okay, then we get f of y equals to, so now we have to simplify the expression numerator. So here we have a fraction and here we have an integer. So whenever I want to do addition or subtraction between a fraction and an integer, what I have to do is I have to multiply the integer by the denominator of the fraction. Once I'm done with the multiplication, I can take this y negative 1 as a common denominator. So now I'm going to multiply this 3 by this denominator y negative 1. So before that, let me write this numerator 4 and this positive sign as it is, 4 positive. So let's multiply this integer 3 and the denominator y negative 1. Then I'm getting 3 times y negative 1. Since I have multiplied this integer 3 and denominator y negative 1, now I can take y negative 1 as a common denominator. The same procedure has to be followed to simplify the expression we have in denominator. So that is, we have to multiply this 1 by this denominator y negative 1. So then we can take this y negative 1 as a common denominator. Then I'm getting 1 positive 1 times y negative 1 over y negative 1. Okay, now f of y equals to, I am writing this fraction as it is 4 positive 3 times y negative 1 over y negative 1. I'm going to change this division as multiplication. So when I change this division as multiplication, I have to get reciprocal for this one. In that case, I'm getting y negative 1 over 1 positive 1 times y negative 1. Okay, so now what we can do is we can simplify here and here, because here the denominator is y negative 1. So here the numerator is y negative 1. So y negative 1 goes into y negative 1 1 times, and y negative 1 goes into y negative 1 times. So now what we get is like f of y equals to, like when I multiply this numerator by this numerator 1, I'm getting 4 positive 3 times y negative 1 over And here when I multiply the two denominators 1 and this denominator, I'm getting 1 positive 1 times y negative 1. Okay, now let me continue over here. So we get f of y equals to 4 positive. Actually, we can distribute this positive 3 to this y and negative 1. So when I do so, I'm getting positive 3y negative 3. So 1 positive. So when I multiply this y negative 1 by positive 1, still I'm getting the same stuff, that is y negative 1. So here this positive 1 and negative 1 will become 0, and we get f of y equals to 3y. When I combine positive 4 and negative 3, I'm getting positive 1 over y. Okay, now we got the function, outside function in terms of the variable y. So in my next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the variable y by x. So when I do so, I'm getting f of x equals to 3x positive 1 over x. Okay, now I got the outside function f of x that is equal to 3x positive 1 over x.